Hi lovelies, welcome to my life and tarot. I am Jane and hashtag time. This is the 31 days of tarot for 2018, started by Ethony. I will leave her prompts and a link to her initial or the first day video down below, and let's just jump right in. I am doing it 7 days or 7-ish days in one video, because otherwise I know I would fall off, or I will have to leave the country and can't record anything half of the January. So I am doing it in a speed mode. This is day 15. And do you have a deck for personal use only? Why or why not? So yes, I do. I took out the decks that I have for personal use only, and these are the Shining Tribe Tarot, why? Because this is my shamanic journeying and working with ancestors and messages from the other side, so to speak. So this I am using for myself only, as it's a unusual tarot deck. It doesn't follow any systems per se. It is Rider-Waite-ish, but it's like touching the Rider-Waite only with the left toe, so to speak. So this deck is totally for other things, and for me it's not for client readings or something that I want to share. So Shining Tribe as number 1. I have more. The Shapeshifter Tarot, which I have trimmed. Again, this is for the dream messages and the spirit guide messages that have appeared me in my dreams as in form of shapeshifters. So I really needed this deck to work with. Sorry for the glow or the overexposure. I hope you can see something. Basically, this whole deck is shapeshifters, and again, I am not using this one as a tarot deck, but as an oracle-ish deck to work with the shapeshifters messages I have been getting, and getting into the world of shapeshifters better, and getting the messages when I am awake also. So Shapeshifter Oracle, no Shapeshifter Tarot. Next is the Sekoli Tarot. I am showing the large one, which I just received the other day, yesterday I think, or a few days ago now, that I'm showing the same cards again and again. So this deck I am not using for anyone else but myself. And why? Because it again is not a tarot deck for me. It's something that I am using for my own healing process, which is the transition from the uh, young adult to adult, that this transition happened really quickly for me, and I am working on balancing it out and working through it now with this deck. So the Secoli Tarot, so far I've been using the mini one, but this really allows me to enjoy the images and get into the images. The little one was like trying to push myself through the keyhole, but this is I can see more details on the large one, and so far I haven't yet used it. It's in order, and I just went through the cards and looked at the mini one, and this is not important even. So why? Because this deck doesn't speak to me as, so any of those decks doesn't speak to me as client reading decks. I haven't found them any kind of place in a client reading so far, because I have mindfully picked my collection so I can cover all areas, and this has never, or any of those decks have never intended to be or become client reading or whatever reading decks. So Secoli Tarot. Next is the Fairy Lights Tarot. I have trimmed everything off of this one, and this is my path working and dream working deck, and sometimes I just mindfully pick a card from it and live the action or the feeling that has been shown on the cards or the card. And again, although it's somewhat rider whitish, yet it's not, so this is like working with the elementals and the little creatures of nature. And I think I already explained why, because again, any of those decks haven't ever spoke to me as anything else than working for myself or with my own goals. Fairy Lights Tarot. And the last one I'm going to show you, and this is, I also have so far been using the Tarot of the She only for myself, but this I might incorporate for client readings also sometime in the future, so I'm not going to show that. But the last one that I'm keeping for myself only is the Bush Tarot, which as you can see, I started to edge it in dark red and black, but then I realized I think I want to trim it. I haven't found the best way to trim it because the names of the major arcana are here. I could cut the top and the sides off and leave only the bottoms, but the minor arcana has the number up here and only the cup or the coin written down here. And I am not sure, not yet so used to the deck that I don't have to literally count the coins to find out how many are there in this chest and in his butt. So, okay, and again I strayed off from the question. The question was, why am I using this only for myself? Because I have other decks to use for clients, and I don't think anyone would be so happy to see something like let me find you some sweet cards from here like this on their reading. They will leave scarred or only remembering this stave up someone's butt image in their head from the reading. So we wouldn't want that, would we? So I'm using the set because I love it. I love the quirkiness of it. I love the little white book is full of quotes. With this one I still use that little white book because the quotes are so juicy, and I'm somewhat using this as a tarot call or the aura tarot call, like tarot oracle, this and that, and this deck helps me unwind like anything else. Well, the Deviant Moon helps on that too, but I can't show that because that one I'm using in client readings, and it really has proven to be one of the best reading decks, which I initially even didn't think would be. But why I explained, like the others, plus the images might maybe leave someone scarred. So this deck is my unwinding, and I get giggles out of it, but it is also a hard hitter to the subliminal messages and the unwinding of the clutter that sometimes happens, and the personal messages come through really loud with this quirky deck. So these are my personal use decks only. And day number 16. Do you read reversals? Why or why not? I do, but not with every deck, and I do use reversals on the usual Rider White. I do use reversals on the old Italian style decks and sometimes Marseille, but I usually go with the flow, and if I feel like I should turn the cards and mix some reversals in, I will do that, but most of the time I don't. But the major answer is that I do use reversals when I feel like it, and so far it has been this great flow of how the instinct for me to turn the cards has proven to be the best way to read them. So the reversals have been revealing as their image position, not only the meaning of the shadow side, but sometimes the whole spread plays with one another beautifully when they are reversed. So, number 17 or day 17, draw, paint or sketch your favorite tarot card and talk a little bit about this card while you are drawing. Well, when I looked quickly through today's prompts, I was like, no, I can't draw. But for you, I will try. And I really wanted to pretend that the Three of Swords is my favorite tarot deck, because this would be the most easiest thing to draw. But the fact is, it's not my favorite tarot card, sorry. So I would now have to try to convey through my stick people how I see the Strength card. So what I am going to talk about it is the Strength card is the card that I can't multitask, by the way. I can't draw and talk, I think. I'm trying. So, hello darkness, my old friend. Let's try. Talk and draw. So, Strength card is my favorite card because of the taking control over your fears and letting go of the fears that we have in life that are crippling us from seeing larger picture in things. And I'm just winging it. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is challenging, and this is part of the strength also, as the I can't do it. I just, okay, I'm trying. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do it quickly and less painfully for you. So the Strength card is, this drawing is also somewhat related to Strength card, as this is something I don't usually do, and I almost backed out from doing this, and as I said, try to pretend the Three of Swords being my favorite card. So The strength card for me is also if you go down the path of the if you go down the path with the zodiac signs, the sign of the Leo, which I am, and the whole thing with Leo is not to tilt on the shadow side, which means misusing or taking advantage of the charm or the power all Leos have in them. So I have quite many Leos in my family, and I have seen both sides, and I must say, thanks to that, I am more aware of where and how low one Leo can go actually. And so the example of it has been helping me to stay away from these types of behavior things, or the I don't know, the I'm blabbering because I really I can't think. I'm trying to invent this card here and talk at the same time, and I actually knew that I maybe can't do it, but now I'm realizing I would either be quiet and draw or talk and not draw. So I have even no idea what am I doing right now. So let me take a moment and try to draw quickly something. I can't maybe explain so well what I mean by it, but the whole idea of the strength card is like knowing your power and not misusing it or applying it gently to the things in order to preserve them, because if you are applying the pressure, then you might break things, and the ability of staying in the lines of not breaking anything or anyone or hurting anything or anyone is part of the strength card for me. So I am really trying to accomplish something here, and I draw it wrong, I think, or maybe not. I had another idea. I'm trying to do it really quickly. Really quickly. Please bear with me. Okay, I think I managed to create something. If you're still here, good for me. If you have already angrily pressed that unsubscribe button. I totally understand. Okay, I think I'm done. So this is what I came up with impromptu. The strength card. I really can't draw, can I? Well, the idea started with the snaky monster, and I can't draw people. I initially thought I will make a person that holds hand in the mouth, but then I realized I can't do it, and I opted to use a little bird that is feeding or giving something to the snake. The snake has the tear in its eye, which is a tear of joy or tear of thankfulness, because it's something he can't catch or get himself, and the bird is showing some courage by getting so close to the sharp teeth, and the usual infinity mark, and I tried to create this helix or the DNA type of thing from the two tails of the snake, which means that the strength we have comes from our DNA or within, and we just have it, but we have to learn to use it properly. Ta-da! So, day 18! Share one of the new things you learned about tarot in the last year. I think the major new thing about tarot was the tarot history that is touching the theme of the historical texts and where the tarot came from and where the first cards appeared and when, and what's the story behind cards getting into the continent of Europe, and how they evolve from the first ones until today, and how they were used then and how they are used now, and the whole parallel history of the playing cards, how these were used, and what's the story behind of creating them, and why they were prohibited at one point, and why the stories of the evil being in the cards was applied at one point, and this whole story, so the history of the cartomancy, so to speak, was the new thing I learned this year, or the last year, sorry, 2017. Okay, day number 19. Share which tarot deck out there gives you the heebie-jeebies. And I must apologize, I have no idea what that means. Heebie-jeebies, is it scary or creeps, or is it a good thing? If it's a good thing, then it is my hug deck, which is the Tarot of the Magical Forest. This gives me the warmest and best emotions, but if it's meant to be creepy or like, I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. If it's meant to be creepy or scary or like the bad thing, then I have to think about a deck that would go there. I have no idea. I mean, every deck has their own thing going on, and I don't have to like every deck. Yet I appreciate the art and the idea, so I don't think there are awful decks or decks that are unusable. Someone likes some decks somewhere, so there's no such thing that as universal likability or something like that. So the creep jeebies, heebie-jeebies sounds like bad thing for me, so I would maybe tilt more towards something, no, that is like weird. I think there's one deck that I find weird, and this is the Gummy Bears Tarot. This is like, why you even, but someone likes it and someone uses it and enjoys it, so maybe this one, I think. And yeah, I'm sorry, I think I don't understand the question right, and the heebie-jeebies is something I have no idea about. I hope I covered something or whatever. So this was the day 19, which I failed miserably, I think. So the day 20, share one tarot myth you used to believe and why you stopped believing it. Before I got into tarot decks and before I got myself a tarot deck, I think I can say that was a myth, but this was like self-inflicted. I was afraid of messing with something I don't know. I used my beloved playing cards. I wasn't afraid of divining with cards or using the cards for this type of things, but I sincerely thought that tarot cards are nothing I should mess with. Today I think I wasn't ready, but one night I had a dream and I woke up in the morning and I knew I absolutely have to have a tarot deck. Then I got myself a deck. Well, I made myself one or colored myself one, and then I think I was ready. I was not ready before that, and I was afraid of whatever things, because at that point I was young, and I had not thought about the all issues about the life and death and all those things. So I think I was afraid of maybe the death card would show up, and this most certainly means that I will die, or something like that. So I think I was afraid of those things popping up that I wasn't ready for. So this is like a myth, I think. So, day 21, share some of your favorite deck storage. And exclamation mark. Deck storage. How can I even say it? Share some of your favorite deck storage. So, I'm sorry, I'm tired and well, there's no excuse. I'm just being me. So, deck storage. Favorite ones are my own self-inflicted or self-made crochet tarot deck pouches. I don't have for all of my decks because I haven't had time to create. This one holds my beloved Greenwich Tarot. Yes, I will show everything. I am here to show you everything. This has a little pocket for the crystal on here. So Greenwich Tarot pouch. This is the really very first pouch I crocheted. I hadn't crocheted for a while then, and then I improved a little as the decks came in. This is another one I have, and this is a home for my Line Strider deck. Everyone has seen the Line Strider deck, so I won't be showing the decks, but the pouches or the storage. And this is Line Strider, and the last one, the self-made one, is for my Wildwood Tarot with a vintage duck button. All my buttons are vintage, by the way. I have a pile of them from the time when I was obsessed, or I hoarded myself different kinds of vintage stuff. So this is my trimmed Wildwood, and the home for it is, I try to pick the shades of the pouches as I see the colors of the, or the color theme of the deck for myself. So next is the wet felted pouch. Who can guess what deck is in here from this spiral? Do you know? This is the question. We will find out soon. Ta-da! This is the Tarot of the She. And this one lives in the felted pouch that I made for it, with a, looks pretty, you know, simple because this is one of the first wet felting things I created. I thought I'd try, and I somewhat succeeded. So this one, and this is not it. I'm showing everything, like I said. This luxurious, I want to say, pouch, I'm showing this is like maybe generic to someone, but I got it as a gift when I swapped some decks, and this is precious for me because of that. It has these silky, smooth red lining and velvety black outer, and this is a home for my Le Tarot Noir when it is traveling. So I don't keep my decks in pouches. I used to. I don't keep my decks in boxes for sure, but I used to keep them in the pouches. Now I keep them all out, and the pouches are for traveling only, so the decks wouldn't get hurt when they are tagging along with me. Bear with me, 2 more to go. Now this old brass elephants and beautiful box is a home, a crystal is a home for my trim Druidcraft, and this one stays within the box all the time, on the shelf and in this box. This one I'm not keeping out. I have my spare Druidcraft which is untrimmed out. If I need to show someone something, I use usually that. This one I carry around and read with. So, and I'm amazed how precisely this box, this just fits the deck. This is like exactly the size of the trimmed Druidcraft deck. So, and the moss agate, is it? Or the tree agate? Moss one is a white one, sorry. Is there all the time. And the last one, but not the least, is the handmade. I got this one from the craft fair last year, and this is the local stitching art or art stitch, I don't know. This is linen and has a linen inner layer, and it is a home for my beautiful Pagan Otherworlds deck. Which fits in there nicely. I got the deck much later than I got the pouch. The pouch initially was for the cell phone. It has this thingy here, and you can put it over the shoulder or around your neck, but I'm not much using it for a phone, and it totally is now home for the Pagan Otherworlds. This was the day 21, and these were my days 15 to 21 for the hashtag 31 Days of Tarot by Ethony. Thank you for watching, and